This is a special council meeting. Right after this, we will have a adjournment and then we'll reconvene at 6 o'clock for the regular council meeting, which will include some public hearings on truth and taxation and other items. So we'll go ahead and I've neglected to get a prayer and a pledge. I'll do the prayer if somebody will volunteer for the pledge. Council Proscard will do that. So I'll go ahead and open this meeting with prayer. Our Father in heaven, as we come to thee at this time, start of our city council meeting, we are so very thankful that we have the ability to govern ourselves. With the input of hopefully with the input of our citizens, we can make some good decisions for the future of our city. Thankful that we live in the United States, the state of Utah, and the town of Payson. Please help us to make those decisions that would be for the best of our citizens in the long run and short run. We're thankful for all the blessings that thou hast given to us and would ask thee to please watch over all in our town, our families, keep them safe. We say this in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Would staff and citizenry please rise and repeat with me the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Okay, we'll move on to the consent agenda. B, number 1, approval of the July 20th, 2022 City Council minutes, resolution amendments to the Payson City fee schedule, and 3, resolution agreement with Mountain Land Association of Governments for Nutrition Services. Unless there's any discussion, I'll entertain a motion.
Seeing there's no discussion, Mayor, I would make a motion that we approve the consent agenda as noted. Approval of the July 20th minutes, resolution and amendments to the Payson City fee schedule, and resolution with the agreement with Mountain Land Association for Governments on nutritional services.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion been seconded. Roll call vote, starting with Council Hyatt.
Yes.
Council Proscard.
Yes.
Council Carter.
Yes.
Council Beecher.
Yes.
And Council Christensen.
Yes.
Thank you. Carries. Motion carries. Going on to C, petitions. Payson / Santaquin Chamber of Commerce quarterly report. Matt Rasmussen. Are you here, Matt? No. Okay, well, we'll punt. Okay, and then we'll move on to number 2, yard of the month. Council Carter, if you would do that for us.
Okay, glad to. And everybody can hear me. I don't want to use the mic.
Yeah, but the microphone doesn't, you don't get recorded
It
unless you
doesn't
do.
go over. Thank you for pointing that out. There's always a smart aleck in the group.
That's why you
Anyway.
got me on the council.
I guess. We've had some beautiful yards this summer that we've picked as yard of the month. And we appreciate the people that send in the applications and want to nominate someone for the yard of the month. And this time we, as a beautification committee, picked Dwayne Curtis's yard. And Dwayne, I want you to come up here and join me. I'll have you stand just right there. A little bit about Dwayne. He might not like me saying this. I forgot how old.
But you're
are
going
you?
to say it anyway.
Yeah, but I'm
Yeah.
going to say it anyway. How old are you? That's right. I forgot. I've been telling him that. Dwayne is 90 years old. He does all of his own yard work. His granddaughter told me that he won't let us do it. And his yard, I mean, since I was little, that yard has been beautiful. And it still looks the same. So we want to present this certificate, if I can get, oh, no, there we go. To ya of appreciation. We appreciate you keeping that yard looking beautiful. And any of you that don't know where he lives, he's on 3rd South and 7th East. It's gorgeous. We also want to give you this little gift certificate of $100 down at Olson's, so you can buy more stuff to make that yard more beautiful. Thank you, Dwayne.
We just, Dwayne,
Gotta have a picture.
Yep.
Hey, I think it should be noted that Dwayne is also a longtime businessman here in Payson.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
and may I say this too, as part of that committee, it has been a privilege to drive around the city and see the beautiful lots we have. And Dwayne, it's just absolutely beautiful.
Okay, you want us up there?
You ready?
Yeah.
Guys look handsome. Thank you.
Good to see you.
Okay, we're moving on. Number 3 in petitions. Would like to open a public forum. Anyone can speak on items that are not on the agenda. If it's on this agenda, we'll address it. So if it's not on the agenda, please come up and talk to us. Try to limit your comments to 3 minutes or less. And so we'll go ahead to that point. Not seeing anyone here in the council chambers. Do we have anybody online? Okay, thank you. We'll go ahead and close the public forum and go on to staff reports. Anybody with the staff would like to address us?
I'll just be really brief, Mayor and council members. MAG has been working on their Transplan 50 update. This is the corridor transportation plan. And they are specifically inviting all of us to participate in some small area meetings, and they would love to have the input of local governments in that. And this is just a flyer letting you know when those are going to be happening, but specifically there will be one for South Valley. And this is going to be on September 8th in the Spanish Fork Fairgrounds in the Chaparral Meeting Room. It's from 5 to 7 p.m. that night, and dinner will be provided. And I have some flyers for you. And this is also available on MAG's website as well. So we invite you all to participate in that.
You forgot to say they feed us dinner.
I did say that.
Oh, did you? Okay. Yeah. That's me, Robert.
Thank you, Robert.
QR codes to RSVP.
Yep.
You should
Thanks,
have that-
Robert.
You should have that electronically
You
as
should
well.
have
We
it
forwarded
emailed.
it to you.
So
Dave?
Mayor and council, just a reminder, this Friday is the salmon supper. A lot of people, a lot of helpers. And so it should be a great event. And if you have any questions, but I think most of you have your assignments. If you can't be there, let me know. We'll make sure that we get substitutes, but it'll be a great event. Yeah, serving starts at 4. Sometimes we try to start serving a little bit early. If I can get Scott to start the fires on time. I'll be down there to make sure he starts it at noon.
Oh,
You really aren't going to be there? We'll come get you somewhere and bring you back.
We have this battle every year because I want him to start the fire sooner so we can start serving sooner. Anyway, it's a great event. And also we'll have some employees. We're trying to have one project every Thursday morning at 7 to clean up. We're trying to focus on the parade route. And we're going to be at 1250 South in Maine, right where the trail goes down there. We're going to clean that up a little bit tomorrow morning at 7. I know last week Linda was there and the mayor was there and we cleaned up that little block at 800 South Main, and it looked really good. So you're invited if you want to get up that early. We spend about 40 minutes to an hour. And that's all I have. Thanks, Mayor.
I might mention, Tracy's coming up. The Salmon Supper was started back in 1954, so I think we're 69 years. And it's just a wonderful event. It's one of those hometown events that we love to have.
I just have a couple things, Mayor and Council. First, on Hidden Cove Park, it's almost completed. Just a couple fixtures, electrical things, and that'll be complete. And I just wanted to thank Wes. Talking with everyone that was a part of that, they just commented and emailed on how easy he was to work with and how great. So I'm thankful for Wes, not only on that, but everything to do in the parks. I'm thankful for him. And then obviously Parks is just getting ready for salmon, a lot of the celebrations. I did want to talk a little bit about the golf course. I got a report from Golf Now, who's a booking engine for golf courses all over the world. So they do millions and millions of bookings. And I thought this was pretty impressive that through the booking and feedback from customers, our golf course was rated 16th in the world. So yeah, I thought that was real impressive. I thought if you got the top 1,000 golf course, it would be good, but I had to read it and reread it again. So I thought that was something worth noting. And then I guess we started our new fiscal year. We were up 13% over our highest ever July. So RV park, we've done 10,000 in July, and that's what we budgeted to pay. So we're on a good trend up there also. So thanks for your support up there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tracy, question for you.
Yes.
One of the members of citizens asked, did we ever sell off any of the golf carts, or do we have them on a lease that we turn back?
We turn back in, and then so it's we do a lease purchase, and so we never one year we sold them off individually, but to be quite honest with you, those carts this year, it's almost like the automobile industry. We got more out of the golf carts by turning them in there than we could sell. I mean, it was unbelievable. They were worth more than almost when we bought them, just because there's just not a lot of used carts now. So normally we don't sell them off, but if there is a citizen, I help them get private carts all the time. So
Do you?
if they want to contact me, then I can help them get something.
So if
for
I
sure.
put them in contact with you,
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
No problem.
done.
And we're sure liking the new carts.
Yeah, the new carts have been great, safe. Yeah, thank you.
Linda likes the one with the air conditioning and
Oh,
the
yeah.
Right.
the Diet Coke dispenser.
In connection with that Hidden Cove Park, that's the Dry Creek Trail that we connected. We'd like to thank the Hancock family as well. We were able to, and Susie specifically, for being able to work well with us.
Mayor, I'd like to set up a visit.
Wonderful.
Advertise for the citizens. We may be able to do it for our celebration or sometime around there.
That would be great.
It's a great trail.
Been a long time in coming, and we're just tickled to death that we're able to provide that to our citizens. Okay, any other staff? If not, we'll move on to council reports. Council Christensen, now that you got your mouth full of your candy.
I'm good. Sorry, I was prepping for concrete, been out in the hot sun and I am beat, but it's been a rough week for all of us, I think. Our hearts go out to the families of those that we lost this week. Personally as well, I know of 7 people personally that passed away in the last 9 days. So it's been a crazy week for everybody, including my mother-in-law. But thanks to the city for all they've done and keeping everything moving forward. And And I'm super sad. I'm gonna miss the salmon supper because I look forward to it every year, but I'd have to find a new wife if I missed this time. So we're good. But anyway, thank you.
Good. Kurt?
Just thank you. I'm good. Good to
Wonderful.
go on, so.
Linda?
Just a couple of things. First off, we're so sorry about your father-in-law. Mother-in-law, I meant mother-in-law. Yeah, that's hard. So, a couple of things. I just want to thank everybody for last council meeting when I spoke up, and I've had a lot of people contact me, and we've made some changes that are going to be positive. So I'm thankful for Tracy for stepping up, and I've gone ahead and told people that have called me about them, and they're happy. So I appreciate that. And I just thank everybody that works for the city. I know how hard you work. And that's it.
Okay, thank you, Linda. Council Prosgaard.
Mayor, I passed tonight.
Okay,
Thank you.
Council Hyatt.
Well, I just wanted to say that whoever cleaned up those weeds out there, because even my husband notices, he doesn't notice. My daughters both know, they go, who did that? And I said, well, I had a little complaint, and I said, so I went and took care of it. And then police department for going to that Spring Lake subdivision and cleaning out the trailers, but there is one food truck that just kind of is not parking there anymore, but it's kind of just parking around the neighborhood and in front of people's houses. And I don't see Brad here, so I guess Dave, you'll let Brad know. I don't know what the food truck is. It's just.
What area is it?
It's out of that Spring Lake subdivision, that new one. So they went and they got the trailers and stuff moved, but now some food truck just parks in front of people's houses every night because they used to park at one of the ends. So I don't know who owns the food truck. Thank you. Taking care of those things.
If I might take just a few minutes to, Dave addressed that the employees and council that can have spare the time looking at trying to spruce up, especially the parade route. But we're also, I would like the public to know we're actively working to with the owner of the property down at the old Flying J property. And it's going to take a little while. It's not going to be done overnight, but we are actively working on that. It's an entrance, one of the main entrances to our city, and it's past time for that to happen, but it's something that's very important to us, not only because of the salmon supper and because of our celebration, but it needs to be addressed. And the police department's helping us as well. And so I just wanted to make everybody aware of that. Okay, moving on. We'll go to D, action items. Preliminary plan and final plat for villages at Arrowhead Park, Plat M for 32 multi-family units at 2200 West Arrowhead Trail Road. Mike, you ready? Oh, you're right there. Dwayne, thank you for being here
Yeah, and you too.
very much.
Okay, so this is Villages at Arrowhead Park, Plat M. I'm sure you're all aware of the villages at Arrowhead Park. So this is the parcel that it would be taking into effect, and the actual development is going to be all on the east side of Bear Creek, which is right here. So to orient you, this is the entire villages, and Plat M is right down here. This is 198 up here, and so Plat M down there. This is kind of a unique situation. what they're doing is, the best way that I can describe it is it's like vertical fourplexes that are attached. And so there's going to be 8 units that are all attached and have 4 individual dwelling units each, 1 per level. So it'll be a 4-story buildings for each one. So this is not going to be condominiumized. And we looked into this with the county and they said, this is not uncommon. This is a possibility that this can be done this way. So anyway, I just wanted to point that out to you. So this would be a total of 32 units. In here, the applicant is putting in covered parking in these light gray areas. A few things that staff is recommending with it is to have some wrought iron fencing go along the Beer Creek area here. There are phases throughout the development that don't have the wrought iron fencing, but we did a site visit today and we kind of felt as if this would be an ideal location to put that. I know that the applicant has expressed opinions of not putting it there. So he can speak to that potentially if you want him to come up and talk to that. The other request that staff is requesting is a complete landscaping plan that also has an irrigation schedule for all of the landscaping areas here. This is just showing that landscaping plan a little bit. Some thoughts that staff had if the council doesn't want to put in the wrought iron fencing, then we thought that perhaps in order to enjoy the nature of the Beer Creek, we thought it might be useful to have either some picnic tables or park benches that would front in that vicinity instead of fencing that area off. So those are the thoughts and suggestions of the staff. Here's some looks of what the structure will look like. Down here in the bottom corner, this is not one unit. These are 2 separate units and what they would potentially look like. So they are only 1-bedroom units that would be stacked on top of each other. And these are just concepts of what the floor plan would look like. So considerations for approval, staff is recommending approval for the preliminary plan and the final plat with the suggestions that were stated. There has been the public hearing on this. The preliminary plat was approved by council in May. So we've gone through those processes and we're just looking for the final approvals. Any questions or comments, or would you like to hear from the applicant at all on this?
I have a couple of questions. So I mean, I'm totally fine with them being 8 separate individual units owned by different entities. My concern lies in the parking, as we've seen a problem with the business downtown that sold off all the parking with one of them. How is the land divided so that the parking is equally divided amongst the 8 owners?
So the parking is based off of number of parking stalls per unit. And
Right.
so they've met the parking requirements in our code.
But where do they draw the lines through the parking lots so that those parking lots, to me, I mean, I'm talking about Dalton's, and I don't know if anybody's been down there and seen that, but the one building sold and all the parking lots went with it. And I worry the same situation here. If 40 years down the road, somebody buys maybe 2 of these units, wants to tear them down and put something different in, where are the parking lots? How does the parking lot go into this? When it's looked at as a plat map, the county recorded it. I want to make sure that it's divided equally.
From what I understand, just the building and the 8 individual, I guess you could call it fourplexes.
Right.
Those are going to be privatized, but all of the rest is common. And so maybe Terry, if you had any further you wanted to talk about that, or
If it's been through legal and legal knows and it's all covered and it's not something that will come up, but later on, I'm just seeing that as a problem and where we're at. But you
Come on up if you would.
My name's Dave Gardner. I'm one of the partners in Arrowhead Park. The common area is the landscaping and the parking lot. What normally happens, and what our plan is on this, is we would set up through the homeowner association assigned parking for the unit. We'd have a few extra that would be for visitors, so they're not assigned, but every other parking space is assigned to a unit. And that doesn't mean that in some time in the future, somebody can come in and say, let's move these around, but everybody has to have the required parking for that unit. So I usually, once you set this up, it doesn't change because it's just too much hassle to tuck your neighbor out of the parking space he's become used to. But the HOA will assign the parking. And so that's, that I don't really think that's going to be a problem from a practical standpoint.
Okay, as long as it's been addressed, I'm fine. That's.
Any other comments? Council.
I have a problem with it. Philosophically, I have, this is the units that we had the work session on, I believe, with the Murphy beds. And I'm more of a less moderate, lower income studio type of apartment. Am I correct?
Well, yeah, you didn't like the studios, so
Right.
we came back with the 1-bedroom concept. That's what this is.
We
No.
didn't increase square footage though.
They're 615 square feet. I don't remember what we originally started with, but
About
it wasn't that much. Yeah.
right at 600. Philosophically, I'm just not a fan of them. I know they're necessary evils, but I just I'm not sure Payson's ready for them in my book. So.
Mayor, can I?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm not going to try and talk you into it, but
Yeah, that's
let me
fine.
address the.
That's what you're here for.
Yeah, I said I'm not going to try and.
Well, your comments, that's what we want.
Well, yeah, I wanted to address the wrought iron fence. I don't like the idea of that, what visually is conveyed when that wrought iron fence is right there in front of the amenity. It's like you're telling people, don't go near our amenity. Some benches and picnic things, if that's what the staff feels like would be good, we're okay with that. But I don't want to put that wrought iron fence there. I think it would not look proper. It would not be inviting to the people living there. And as far as the landscape plan, we submitted that. We did not submit an irrigation schedule because normally we do that right before we get a building permit. So that's why we haven't submitted that.
But you will submit one when the time's
Oh,
right.
yes, and we always have, so.
As I understand it, there's no ordinance that would have us require you do that fence, but we would, then the fallback position would love to have the benches and the picnic tables. So whoever makes a motion, if they would like to include either the fence or the tables, then that's the way that motion should be fashioned.
So that's all, unless you have questions.
Any further?
Is there any way you can make that look better? That literally reminds me of the slums in New York. I don't mean to be mean, but
As far as all the,
that's what it looks like. There is like no change of anything. It just looks like that low income housing that the government pays for that poor people live in.
Hey, it's got a little bit of color.
I'm serious. I'm not even being a joke right now
I know.
because I think it looks not nice at all.
Well, I think maybe that's a matter of opinion. I quite like the look of this building, but so I don't know what we can do to dress it up. You know, that would be something that you'd like. I think maybe there's a matter of personal preference.
Just to point out, and Jason mentioned this to me, this is an administrative action. So as long as they meet the minimum design guidelines of the code, there's not much that you could actually require them to do additionally. You can ask them to do something different or spruce things up or whatever, but they do meet the minimum design guidelines for the code. So.
Okay, based on excuse me, conversation we've had, is there a motion? What's that?
Is there any discussion among us before we?
Well, that's, I think we had that. Is there any others discuss before we entertain a motion? Is there any further discussion?
There's, yes, they're all one bedroom. What's the individual council members' thoughts on fence versus park benches and stuff?
Yeah, I think there should be something.
I think
Are
it's,
they gonna put trees up? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, there were trees on the plans, but
Landscape plan had trees and stuff.
You can see
I
there's.
think it's
handful
a
of trees
two-edged
here.
sword there. These are possibly would have, I mean, they're only single bedrooms, so I can't imagine there being a half a dozen little kids there.
No.
The fence would be nice to keep kids out of the water, but I think the park bench is probably more suited for the style of people that are going to be living in them. So I'm more inclined to the park benches.
And that's why I wanted to bring it out that from an ordinance standpoint, we can't force one or the other. We can make suggestions and my suggestion was if there's not, if the fence is something that's not going to fly financially for them, that we fall back to the position of benches that can enhance that area to be used.
I have one more question.
Okay.
How much of the sewer has this development and stuff out there?
It goes into Salem's.
I know, but how many? Travis, how many units were we gonna be able to put into Salem?
All of this development.
Was there any other land that was supposed to go there too?
Cross street is.
And how much is that? I mean,
Both of those units, both
500.
of these.
I believe the Arrowhead Ranch is
programs.
somewhere in the realm of 900 total
Yeah.
units.
I think that was anticipated when we made the contract.
Both
with
of these
Salem.
developments are to go to Salem, and that's how the agreement.
They're
is.
still within their agreements.
We're not outside the agreement.
that's what I was wondering.
Okay, unless there's further, I'm ready for a motion.
All right, I'll make a motion that we approve the preliminary plans and final plat for villages at Arrowhead Park, Plat M for 32 multifamily units at 2200 West Arrowhead Trail Road, with following staff recommendations and requesting that the developer add the amenities such as picnic tables and benches,
I think
improve
that,
the natural open air space.
is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion been seconded, starting with Council Christensen,
Yes.
Council Beecher,
Yes.
Council Carter.
Yes.
Council Prosgaard,
No.
Council Hyatt.
No.
Motion carries 3-2. Thank you. Going on to number 2, resolution, real estate state purchase contract for 800 South Street with Payson South Meadows Partners. Dave, are you, oh, okay, there we go. Jill.
It's been a while. How much time would you like me to take? No,
3 to 7 seconds.
Well, we have 25 minutes.
no, I won't take that long. Anyway, we've got a real estate purchase contract in your packet. It is proposed that the city council enter into this contract with Payson South Meadows Partners LLC in order to acquire 3.07 acres of property needed for the 800 South Extension project that will extend out to West Mountain in the future. So Payson City was able to secure some quarter preservation funds through Mountain Land Association of Governments. So that is the funding source that Payson City is utilizing in order to acquire this property. There's another property that we're negotiating with the landowner now. So there will be another contract that will come back to you in the near future. But at this time, we're requesting approval of this agreement. It's a typical contract that we have. You've probably seen the format before. The contents are very similar to other purchase contracts that we've had in the past. Dave and I have had an opportunity to talk with the property owners, or at least the representatives of their team. And they are supportive of the terms of this contract. Like to get this as expedited and completed as soon as possible. But we do have some timelines in there to give the parties the time needed in order to finalize the transaction, specifically MAG, in order to get the funds from Utah County. So, but we believe that the terms of the contract would be sufficient for what Payson City would need, the applicant would need, and for Mountain Land to complete the transaction or the funds for this project. So that's all we have at this time, unless you have questions for staff. I believe that there may be some applicant representatives on the call if you have any questions for them, but as I mentioned, they are supportive of this moving forward. So we look for a motion from you tonight to finalize this contract.
I'm a map guy. Do you have a map?
Where are you? Is this 800 South? It's this corridor right down through here.
Hey, Jill,
It's out
I
here.
have one question while you're doing that.
Mhm.
It's out
Is UDOT participating or helping with us in any way on this? Either
UDOT
with-
is not at this time
Right.
as part of
So
the
it
design
comes-
work.
it comes
We
I
designed it
think
in a
it
way
goes
that
like
it could
this,
potentially
but
be
it
a
turned
UDOT
up
facility
this
in the
way. That's why I
future,
wanted-
Yes.
but
like
it has not been
maps.
constructed. And so there has been no obligation made by UDOT for order for this to be part of their network or part of their system. But we are designing it in a way that it could potentially be
Perfect.
just where it will be connecting a state route
Yep.
to a freeway.
Yep.
So we think that that's probably a good direction.
I'm
to
just trying to
move,
make
but-
sure future funding
Yeah.
could be available.
Well, as you know, it's connecting 5600 too, which is a state,
That's a state road also.
state road and a collector. So it does make sense.
Okay.
So who owns the property?
Payson South Meadows Partners. So it goes through the Red Bridge mixed use development. And I'm still trying to
Pull
get
it
the
up.
map.
Sorry, I like maps.
No, it's fine. I should have had the map ready.
Just plan on it.
And
Figure it out.
recognizing
got
that we
feature.
do have a new council member, so I should have had it ready.
Yeah, you have a guy that likes maps. He draws lots of maps.
Okay.
He's a picture guy.
What do you expect from an engineer?
That's right.
Okay. I've got a map, but log into the Zoom real quick.
Thank you.
No, it's fine. Like
That's
you
what
said,
we're
I
here
have
for.
25 minutes, right?
You're down to 20.
20, counting down. It's not going to take me that long. Okay, we're going to get in here. We're going to have Kim let me in and.
No pressure at all.
You still got 21 minutes.
It says I can't share the screen.
Way more than
Oh.
3 to 7.
It shows
seconds.
I'm there, but
Which meeting?
I might have gone into the regular meeting. Because this is the special meeting. Okay. Let's try this one.
Do you know what the problem is?
Totally spaced it.
We all do that.
Now it doesn't want to even do anything.
That's what
And you're not even
right
close to
now.
that age.
And they're dropping.
At work that has 2
Okay.
kids and there's 4 of
It
them.
is
in one
trying.
bedroom apartments. And there's like,
I have to
"I
go
can't
through all the
know
video
what to do.
stuff.
Move back in with mom." It's
Okay.
17:50.
I am there now.
So you think you can afford a
Okay.
couple
Drum roll.
picnic tables?
You about got it there?
Yes.
Oh, looky.
I guess it is what it is.
So this is the map of the preferred alternative that was identified through the 800 South Transportation
Right.
Corridor Study. So it shows, so there to the right-hand side is the 8 South Interstate 15
Right.
interchange. Right now, 800 South just terminates into those fields. And it's anticipated that 8 South will connect. It will go over the 2 sets of railroad tracks and then continue out and connect into 5600 West or
we-
State Route
We've
147.
adopted that, right? Yeah.
And that-
We approved it or
And that
adopted it.
plan was supported by the council.
We-
And so we've been moving forward to
Yeah.
try to protect that corridor.
this contract in regards to?
It's on the south side of the railroad tracks.
Just
So
circle it
it's
with your
just,
mouse.
I wish I,
Just go around it with your mouse.
so it's this area right here.
Yep.
So between 1700 West and the railroad tracks.
Right?
So there are several partners, but yes, Kenny is
So
part
we
of that.
sold them that part. Now we're buying this other.
No, sold it to Red Bridge.
The other part.
So the South
Okay,
Meadows.
I don't look at it that way, but
That's what I needed to see. Thank you.
So it is that. So they would be, that section is all that we're looking at with
Okay.
this transaction.
We're not buying it, Mag's buying it, we're just facilitating.
not good math, is it?
Yeah, we got the money through MAG.
Yep.
Mayor, I'd make a motion that we approve the real estate purchase contract for 800 South Street with Payson South Meadows partner as the Repsi indicates.
Okay, we have a second.
And authorize the mayor or to sign the document.
Have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion been seconded, starting with Council Hyatt, roll call.
No.
Council Prosgaard.
Yes.
Council Carter.
Yes.
Council Beecher.
Yes.
Council Christensen.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries 4-1. Okay, I have a request by Council Prosgaard. He would like to make just a short statement before we adjourn.
I had the privilege on the 25th of July to pull the Queen float in the Spanish Fork Fiesta Days parade. And even though they're new queens, which each one of them are just wonderful in their own way. That morning, they arrived a little early for the judging and what have you. And you know how Spanish Fork is, the breeze, the wind, I won't say the breeze, the wind was
Yeah,
unreal.
It's a little windy.
And so I my wife invited them into my truck and I got kicked out. But over the course of that, last year and this year, we've taken our granddaughter with us and she has to wear her princess outfit from Disneyland or from Disney and her tiara. And over the course of a few minutes of them in my truck visiting, they invited my granddaughter to ride on the float. And I am telling you, they made a child's dream come true. So I thanked each one of them, but I wanted you to know that they are representing our community just wonderful. I think our queen this year is so eloquent and very compassionate. So they're all that way, each one of them. So I just wanted to make sure the citizenry knew what wonderful queens we have representing Payson this year. That's all I have.
Go ahead. No.
I just saw your granddaughter on there. That was cute.
Thank you for those comments, Bob. And one last thing I would like, not only for the council's benefit, but for those that are in attendance. It's a pleasure to work with this council. You can see sometimes we agree and sometimes we don't. But it is so refreshing to be able to disagree and still be agreeable and be part of the process. So thank you very much. Okay, I'll accept the motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thanks. We'll adjourn till 6 o'clock.